Hey guys, welcome to this week's AECVC, my weekly view behind my own scenes, sharing those with you, and the thoughts that I had used in the last week and several few days, how to prepare my mind. So I'm going to share 3 topics with you real quick. One, we wrote together among other blue chip construction companies and their board members an article on Verdict about the impact of AI on construction. 2, we shared a view about what's the difference between ConTech and PropTech. And 3, I had an interesting conversation with an exited construction tech founder about the role of storytelling and the role of substance. Let me walk you through these 3 real quick. So that article on Verdict, thanks for giving us that platform, by the way, about the impact of AI in construction was written between Dennis Lenz at Heidelberg Materials, board member, chief information officer there, Dimitris Boutolos, the chief information officer of Ferrovial, a large global infrastructure contractor and operator, and Fabian Lenz, the head of Goldback Technologies, and myself as well. And so Dennis had a very interesting view and something that I think will perhaps become the norm going forward. He shared in that article that at Heidelberg Materials, in order to make AI implemented in a new use case, be it internally developed or from you as a startup, as their supplier, it has to go through an AI governance board that the CFO and the CIO both have to agree to. So that is something that you need to, in their instance, bake into your go-to-market. And perhaps that's a blueprint that others will follow too. They make prioritization decisions. That's very interesting because AI is creating a lot of noise and value at the same time. Fabian at Goldback shared something similar. So he shared in that article also about, hey, we have fragmented landscape of software now, and one of our biggest tasks with the proliferation of AI is to make sure that that fragmented software actually gets some kind of integrated value, whatever that is going to be. So that might represent an opportunity too. Dimitris from Ferrovial gave a completely different fascinating insight. So Ferrovial builds infrastructure and operates infrastructure. Think highways in Texas, for example. And so Dimitris shared how large vision models between them and NTT, which is a telecom company, and lots of data that they have, they use that in an integrated way to actually manage that highway infrastructure more efficiently. So that's an interesting case that Dimitris shared. Check out the link to the Verdict article. I found it really insightful. By the way, I also shared that I think in construction, one of the most interesting wedges and insertion points for you guys to develop AI is the pre-construction and specifically the bidding and estimation workflow. Love to hear if that's what you're doing. Let's move to topic number 2. So ConTech versus PropTech. I followed a LinkedIn conversation where someone was positing, hey, PropTech and ConTech, it's the same thing. Let's just eliminate the terms. Let's make them one. I say that is completely wrong. That is completely wrong because construction tech is a project-based industry, whereas PropTech is an operations-based industry. PropTech gets optimized through margins, through yield, through volume, through standardization, and even transactions and spread. But nowhere do you actually optimize PropTech through the models or the levers that you use in a project-based industry like construction. Construction runs on very high risk of failing on one part. That risk has very detrimental impact, and that's why it is an industry that runs on track record more than it runs on tooling. And because of these project-based idiosyncrasies, I have more in the link here that I explain step by step how I'm thinking about those idiosyncrasies. The models and the category creators that we see in construction tech are very, very different, and they will be different and unique in their own right. And so that's something that benefits construction tech founders as well as adopters in construction tech, because they will have the opportunity to find unique niches and unique category creation potential as they grow. It will not look like PropTech or any other sector. Finally, that conversation in WhatsApp with an exited construction tech founder. For context, that founder is someone I've known and respected for a long time. They sold their first company, which was a software company in construction tech, made life-changing money, but that person is still hungry. That person is looking at their next company. I think they're already underway and they're already in the midst of it. And that person asked me over WhatsApp, Patric, philosophical question. I want to know if you could go back to my previous journey. We sold the company, we had the most ARR at the time. I think, that's what that person thought, I think we had the most substantiated product, we had the best case studies, and yet my competitors from back then are still going. Some of them outraced me, some of them outhyped me, One of them is doing really well, another one is, in his mind, maybe not doing so well, maybe just doing noise, etc. And he asked me, Patric, should I have told more stories, and what would you advise I do now? And I said, you know what, I can't give you the answer. I do not know the answer, but it might depend on your objectives. And I think that's what's worth sharing. The objective could be, hey, I want to make something generational and I'm giving myself 10 plus years, next decade, to get there. If that's what you're doing, substance will always win. You cannot storytell your way over 10 years and hope that people will give you more and more money for burn if there is no core of substance that actually gets delivered over that time frame. Substance will prevail, noise at some point will not. However, your objective might be different. Your objective might be to achieve in the next 2 years a big milestone. That milestone could be that you make a quick sale of a company. That happens all the time and that can be life-changing. It could also be that you say, hey, I want to achieve a big milestone to get a lot of attention, a lot of airtime, and then I'm building substance off of that. Has happened as well. That can be valid, but that's what I'm saying. You have to think about what is the objective that you're following, and then the answer might be that you need more storytelling or less storytelling. Either way, I'm sharing in the link below that storytelling can serve as an accelerant. And it is something that is important in the job of a founder and CEO, but it should, in my mind, not replace the substance. If your objective is to build a category creating a generational company, call it legendary company if you want, in AEC over a 10-year time frame, right? So substance does win, storytelling can be an accelerant. Thank you guys. This is how I prepared my mind last week. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe under aecvc.com and you can also find me on LinkedIn. See you next time.